Hey students, it's your piano teacher Tim here, and today I'm going to be giving you some tips on maximizing your chances of success of learning piano in the long run. These tips go from most obvious to least obvious, so make sure you pay close attention. And make sure you stick around to the end, because I have a special bonus that you will find enriching and oh so worth it. Tip number one, probably the most obvious of all of them, is to set a practice schedule. But I have more info on the practice schedule to make it, easier to accomplish. You want to be practicing ideally around the same time every day. If you can't accomplish this, that's okay. It just makes it a little easier to get in that practice. Setting a timer is highly recommended, and make sure that when you set the timer on your phone, on your piano, whatever it is, that you are dedicated to that time. You're not letting anything distract you. You're sitting down and you are focusing on piano. It will also help just build positive habits over time about practicing and focusing, because a lot of people get in this bad habit where they sit down, they're messing around on their phone, they noodle around on the stuff, and boom, an hour goes by and they haven't practiced a darn thing. Number two. This one's really important, and a lot of people don't know about this one. It is understanding that failure is a part of the process. Failure is a learning tool. It is not an end unless you want it to be. So I guarantee that if you learn how to play piano and you have goals in mind, you're going to fall flat on your face sometimes. Some days, some weeks even, for a period of time, you're going to feel like, oh, I'm getting better and better and better. This is great. And then all of a sudden, you're going to feel like you plateau, or maybe you get a little worse, and you're going to wonder what the point was to begin with. Just know that this is totally normal. Just know that setbacks are totally normal, and when you overcome them, that will increase your confidence levels, and you can apply this to anything in life. I found that confidence is built by doing things you didn't think you could do before. But lastly, what I want to say about failure is you have what it takes, you just don't know it yet. After all, you aren't until you are, which all that means is that basically, I think about my own experience learning how to be a piano player, or even just say YouTube. Let's say somebody comes up to me and they say, oh man, I wish I could do what you do. I wish I could have 250,000 subscribers. Well, guess what? I didn't have them until I did. All right, everybody, time for another lesson. I didn't know how to make good videos until I failed at making a lot of them. Hi, my name's Tim, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I mean, I had some successes along the way, but I made a lot of bad ones. I learned from it, and then I became what I am. And just remember that failure is part of the process. Number three is to get good at the fundamentals and don't forget about them. So what I'm talking about is like reading music, rhythm, like sight reading, things like that. A lot of students will learn this stuff once, if they're lucky, and then they will forget about it forever. So reading music is the perfect example, because if you just learn your lines and spaces in a day, sure, you may get to a point at the end of the day where they sound great, but you don't work on it for a week or 2 weeks or a month. And then what happens when you sit down to it again? You forgot. So make sure that you're not only learning all the fundamentals, but you are actually practicing them on a regular basis. The saying is you gotta know it like the back of your hand, and I agree. On to the next tip. Number 4, get good at sight reading. What is sight reading? It's being able to read a piece of music that you've never seen before from sight. And by developing this skill, it will allow you to learn pieces much faster and with greater accuracy, because you can get so good at sight reading to where you can just look at a piece of music. It can even be fairly difficult if you're really great at sight reading, and you can just play it, and it might not be perfect, but it'll sound a lot closer to the way it's supposed to first try. Sometimes when students, actually a lot of times, I remember the first 10 years or so when I was learning, when I'm learning a new piece, I know people don't like music for at least as an example, but so if you're messing up notes and and it's taking you so long, it takes a lot more effort to get over it. It takes a lot more patience, rather. But if you're good at sight reading, and I can go, hey, it's not full speed, but Oh my goodness, it sounds like it's supposed to. That is so encouraging. It will keep you going. But if you haven't mastered sight reading yet, don't worry about it. But get started on it and start learning and getting good at sight reading. Tip number 5.
What's up, nerds?
Tip number 5 is to find a like-minded community of people that also want to learn how to play piano. This can be friends, this can be family, this can be online communities such as this one. Okay, we have a community Discord, all filled with like-minded people that want to learn how to play piano. It's called the Piano Lessons on the Web Discord. I'll link it for you in the description because I'm such a nice guy. And you know, there's so many people here joining in on conversations. I can't keep up with it all the time, but it's so amazing. Like there's always people asking questions, either about how to play or just advice on practicing. And I'll be surprised, like I don't even have to come in and chime in. There's already like sometimes an answer here from one of our community members answering the questions. So it's such an amazing place to be. We have something called Piano Practice Club. I'm not going to describe that in this video, but I just want to tell you that we have a community of like-minded piano players, and that's our Discord. This will help keep you motivated. It will make you a part of something, I should say, that is meaningful, that you're like, yeah, I want to practice not just for me, but I also want to talk to, say, Mary on Discord about it or something like that. Or maybe I can share with people on the Discord like what we're working on, share ideas, and you know, you'd be surprised how motivating that sort of thing is. So check out the Discord or join some sort of other online community if you want to, but you should really join mine. Anyway, so let's get on to number 6. Okay, number 6 is really important. Like I said, these are getting less obvious now. And this one, it might sound a little weird, but it's super helpful. And that is to write down the reasons you started learning piano in the first place. Because trust me, that when you start learning for a while, you get lost in the sauce. It's true with anything, like weight training, anything. It's easy, especially when things get challenging, to start questioning yourself. You're like, do I really want to do this? Is this really worth the effort? You know, I'm really struggling. Is this really worth it? Well, guess what? If you write down the reasons you started and you have it around somewhere, you have it posted on a wall, you can pull it out real quick, look at it. It will remind you why you started learning piano in the first place. And it can be very, very motivated to keep you going. I've used this for many things throughout my life. Weight training is one of them. You just remember the reasons you started, because yeah, you're gonna make like gains in the beginning. You know, learning piano is the same thing. You're gonna make a lot of progress in the beginning probably, but you're gonna plateau at some point, and that can be really frustrating. So make sure you have the reasons that you started with written down, and you can refer to it to keep yourself going. There's another tip, and that tip is number 7, and that is to challenge yourself and always be opening to learning new ideas, genres, rhythm styles, music theory, and so forth. This will basically make you eventually a well-rounded musician, right? Because if you only learn one or two things and you're learning the same stuff all the time, it's just hard to keep motivated. So if you are branching out, learning new things, you're gonna discover all sorts of things, not only just about playing piano, but about yourself as well. I've always found that some of the things I liked the most were things where when I first approached them, I wasn't sure about, or I didn't like. Actually, when I first started playing piano, I wasn't sure about it back when I was like 6 years old. You basically just being open to learning new things, you'd be surprised. You may fight against it, but in the end, trust me, you'll be glad that you did it.
Guys, what do you wish you'd done before you died?
Paint a self-portrait.
Build a house.
Now for the special surprise that will change your life, and it's actually 2 bonus tips. I said that they would be valuable, and I'm gonna deliver on this promise. So the bonus tip number 1 is to balance playing what you enjoy with playing what's going to challenge you. Kind of going along with the tip I just gave you. You always want to be playing some things you enjoy though, because if you're playing things that are challenging and maybe you don't enjoy as much, guess what? You're not going to like learning how to play piano in the long run. You can do a few practice sessions like that, just doing all challenges and stuff like that. But after a while, you're going to be like, you know what? What am I even doing this for? I'm getting better and better, but to do what? Things that I don't enjoy. So always have like kind of a repertoire, which kind of goes on to the next one, of pieces that you enjoy. That, you know, when you're challenging yourself and you're like, you know, I need a little break, play a few pieces you enjoy. It'll keep you motivated, I promise. Then the bonus tip number 2, and there's one last little tidbit here after that, is to keep a repertoire, which is a list of pieces you have learned and prepared. This is really useful, again, for playing stuff you enjoy, but it's also really important if anybody ever asks you if you know how to play piano and you feel so inclined to play for them. If you have a list of repertoire already learned, you'll more likely rather, say, yes, I do know how to play piano. Yes, I will play something for you. And you'll play for them, and you'll probably enjoy it. And it'll probably motivate you to keep practicing. Hopefully you're playing for somebody nice. They'll give you some nice feedback. Things like that, but get a repertoire list ready. It also will help you keep track of what you've been learning throughout time, because if you don't have a repertoire list to refer back to, you can't be like, I don't know, it's just hard to keep track of your list. It's like also your list of accomplishments as well, which can keep you motivated. Okay, so you want to watch this lesson next because it's literally the best tips I have on the entire channel. This will also help you be successful at learning piano in the long run. Of course, make sure that you're subscribed, you have all notifications turned on, because we have new lessons coming out all the time. You don't want to miss a beat. It's been your piano teacher, Tim, here, and I'm going to see you, yes, you, in the next lesson. See ya!